Welcome to the waiver notice and public comment process. This short video will provide basic information on how to provide feedback on proposed waiver changes during an open public comment period. First, let's review the Bureau of Disability Services vision, mission, and values. Our vision is that all people have equal access and opportunity to realize their good life. Our mission is to connect people with disabilities and their families to resources and supports to live their best life. And our values include being person-centered, inclusion, collaboration, commitment, and empowerment. So let's get started. Medicaid waivers are the home and community-based services that provide services and supports to qualifying individuals with disabilities, which enable them to be successful in their home and community. Keep in mind that we are discussing today the waivers only, and not the Medicaid State Health Plan, which is a different service. So what is a waiver amendment? So a waiver amendment is any changes or updates to Medicaid waivers which require approval by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, commonly referred to as CMS. This is a requirement because waivers utilize funding from the federal government. In order to propose these changes, the Bureau of Disability Services, also referred to as BDS, files waiver amendments with CMS. CMS requires a 90-day review period, which allows them to review the proposed waiver amendments. During this time, they send BDS questions through a process called the Request for Additional Information, or RAI. CMS has 90 days to approve or disapprove the proposed amendment. Notice and public comment is a common rulemaking procedure under which a proposed rule, policy, or guidance is published and is open to comment by the general public. Before we submit a waiver amendment to CMS, we take public comment. This ensures that you are aware of the amendment and that you have the opportunity to share your thoughts, concerns, or questions. All comments received are carefully reviewed by our state staff. Federal law requires that we provide public notice of any significant change in methods, as well as establish and use a public input process for any changes in services or operations of the waiver. The Division of Disability and Rehabilitative Services also needs public input, because we consider your comments critical and valuable in developing and implementing waiver changes to assist you and your loved ones in the delivery of waiver services. We use the feedback to ensure our system is reflective of the needs of those we support. Providing public comment is the easiest and best way for the agency to hear your concerns and with the current waiver and any changes we are proposing. Your comments are valuable and assist us in creating services that are meaningful and effective for individuals with disabilities and their families. When an amendment is open, we read all the comments and write a response to each one. You can then view all the comments and responses on our website after the amendment is complete. This is a great opportunity to also view what others are saying. When a waiver amendment is open for public comment, BDS will make an announcement through the DDARS listserv, social media posts, and/or our Envision newsletter. The amendments that are being proposed are available on our website under the tab titled DDRS Policies, and then the sub-tab titled DDRS Draft Policies for Public Comment. We also encourage our community partners, such as advocacy and family organizations, trade organizations, and service providers, to share the information as well. So when looking at the amendment to provide comment, the purpose of amendment section at the beginning of the waiver document will spell out the changes that we are proposing. It's typically a few paragraphs long and lets CMS know why we're pursuing a change to the amendment. So for example, if the amendment was something required by a House Enroll Act or legislation, it will be spelled out in this section. It's important to remember that this is a document written for CMS, which can make the language very technical. If you need help understanding the purpose of a waiver amendment, please feel free to always reach out to our district offices and to follow our announcements to stay informed. So after the purpose of amendment is a section titled Nature of the Amendment, where you can find additional information on any changes being proposed. If a box on the far left side has a check, we have then updated something in that section of the waiver. The letters and numbers on the far right will spell out which subsection has been updated. You can then find each subsection to see exactly what we have changed. It's important to remember that sometimes the changes documented are only grammatical changes or terminology updates. However, whether substantive or not, anything that is updated must be documented for CMS in this Nature of Amendments section. Once you get to the sections that have been identified as being changed, the waiver amendment document itself doesn't have any indicators in the text fields on what is new or different. So you may want to compare what is currently in the waiver with what is being proposed. You can do that by looking at the current waiver, which can be found on our website, and then comparing it to what is in the proposed amendment. So to provide public comment, you can review the waiver amendment via the BEADS website, or you can request a paper copy from your district office. After you read through the amendment, you can send your comments via email to DDRS waiver notice comment at fssa.in.gov, or you can send them via U.S. mail to Waiver Amendment Public Comment, care of Division of Disability and Rehabilitative Services at 402 West Washington Street, W453, P.O. Box 708, MS26, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46207-7083. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope that this has given you the information and tools you need to provide feedback during the waiver notice and public comment process. Your feedback is valuable. If you have any questions at all, feel free to email our BEADS help, which is bds.help@fssa.in.gov. And don't forget to sign up for our DDRS announcements and updates at www.fssa.in.gov/DDRS, and also follow us on Facebook.